They were PhD students at Stanford University in computer science. Their supervisor was Rajiv Motwani, who founded something called MIDAS, which was mining data at Stanford, MIDAS. And so one of the projects was they're just trying to apply data mining to online retail. So data mining, its commercial use was mostly at the time, most famously for retail, huge amounts of data on who bought what, when, where, for how much. And data mining means you run complex algorithms looking for patterns. Now, data mining is really, really old. It predates computers by, at least a century. But of course, computers make looking for these patterns much more easy. And of course, as computers got better, the formulas got more and more powerful and faster. So they're doing this, they're on Alta Vista actually searching for companies to work on. Alta Vista was the best search engine at the time. It was the first one actually to do an automatic, it's called a web crawler, an automatic index of every single page on the internet and download that index into a directory. Now, the most popular search engine at the time was Yahoo, and they were doing that kind of tagging by hand. They had a whole army of people doing this tagging by hand. Alta Vista did it automatically, much better as a search engine. So they're using Alta Vista to search, and they notice something on an Alta Vista search screen. It's called reverse links, meaning you can enter your web address, and it will give you all the other sites that link to your site. What that means is that site has written your URL on their site. As we know now, that's what a link is. They actually write your address, click on it, they come to your page. Well, this reminded them of something. One of their other projects they were working on was a library project. And this reminded them of footnotes. Because really that's what a footnote is. At the end of somebody's book, there's a link, a citation, which is really a link to someone else's work. And they know from the library project that authors get ranked according to how many times their name appears in other people's footnotes. So let's take Sigmund Freud. How many times does he appear in other people's footnotes in a year? I mean, millions. He's the founder of psychiatry. So his rank is very high. Someone else doesn't get cited very much by other people. Their rank is low. So the Google guys, they say, well, look, isn't that the same thing? Why don't we just, once we get results, we're going to rank them of, who has linked to you. We're going to rank these according to who gets linked the most. So if a huge number of other sites link to your site, your rank is high. If nobody's linking to your site, your rank is low. It's the same thing. And we display the results by rank. So the most useful or the most used sites are at the top. Whereas Yahoo and all the other search engines at the time, including Alta Vista, the results were just a jumble. For the first time, you get ranked results automatically thanks to Alta Vista. So they wrote Alta Vista, they copied Alta Vista onto the Stanford computers. They took a data mining algorithm and they did this reverse link ranking that they got from academic citations, and they called it PageRank. Guess what they thought they had? They thought they had a research tool. And they list all the research uses you could use for this. Well, Stanford University says, you're using so much computer space and time, you must let everybody use this on campus. So everybody did. Everybody came back to the Google guys and said, do you guys realize you have just invented the greatest search engine in the history of the world, not just a research tool? And they said, oh, I guess you're right. That is what we did. So they now started a search company, called it Google, raised lots of investment capital, and they spent it. And they were ready to give up. Why? What's missing?
Revenue.
Money. Yeah, in the US at least, we were all using Google before they made a penny. Well, at the time, the most popular search engines or websites were like Yahoo. Yahoo was definitely the most popular, and they were portals. Now, a portal means you have everything on the same page. Even today, if you look at the Yahoo page, you have your email, your news, your shopping, your weather, your news, and your search, everything on the same page. because they want you to stay on that page as long as possible so they can sell banner ads and pop-up ads, and those make you stay on the page even longer. But look at Google. What's on the Google page, at least the original Google page? Nothing, just search. And then, in those days, even today, really, you enter your search term in maybe a second, less than a second, you get your results, you click on the one you want, you're off the page. Google gets you off the page as fast as possible. A portal keeps you on the page as long as possible. Google is the opposite of a portal. Well, but, okay, now the Google guys had a great search engine, but Yahoo made their money from banner ads and pop-up ads because people are lingering on the page. And the Google investors said, well, it's a very simple way to get revenue. You're so popular, just sell banner ads and pop-up ads. Well, the Google guys said, well, we can't do that. If we do that, Google will be slow, just like the portals. So the Google guys really tried to give up. They offered to sell this back to Alta Vista for $1 million. Alta Vista said no, because they didn't have any money either. Right? They had no ads or anything like that. So the Google guys just kept going. They didn't know what else to do. And then they noticed on the internet a site called Overture. Now, Overture was a search engine, did not have as many users as Google, but they were selling advertisements. And they were not displaying those advertisements as banner ads or pop-up ads. They were displaying them as search results in a nice little list on the right-hand side. Well, that's just as fast as any other search results. So the Google guys wrote that into Google. And still today, that's how Google makes its money. That is 80% of Google's revenue. Another 15% comes from YouTube, which they did not invent. They bought that. And another 5% comes from all kinds of things. So we recognize now, once we know how to look at these things, that they combined examples from history, meaning they did not invent data mining algorithms. They did not invent Alta Vista. They did not invent reverse link ranking from authors, and they did not invent Overture's ad system. It was a new combination of previous elements. And they had the presence of mind that every time these things combined in their mind, first of all, they let it. They had open minds that let these things combine. And then they followed through, even if it changed where they thought they were going. So they changed their goal. Well, of course they changed their goal. They found a better idea, right? That's why you change your goal, when you see a better way to go. Now, I'm glad you asked about Google, because Google is famous for a creative workplace. People are imitating this. You have polka dot walls and toys and funny chairs and slides. Nobody ever thinks, gee, is that how Google guys got their idea? Is that the source of Google's creativity? Not even close.